Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to look at my first Mythic Legions figure. This is the first one that got me into this line. It was the first one I saw that really made me pull me into getting into this. I've always loved skeletons. I mean, growing up, my favorite figure was Skeletor. So this was a natural progression for me to get into something like this. This is the Mythic Legions Deluxe Builder Skeleton. I believe that's what it's called. And we're gonna look at this figure and see what it's all about. The thing that I really love about Mythic Legions that really pulled me in, and I didn't really notice it until I got it in hand, is the amount of detail that are on these figures. I mean, it's just amazing. And in future figures, you will see paint apps on these figures. This figure isn't got any real major paint apps. It's got a little bit of silver up here on the visor to give it some wear. But for the most, this type of figure that was sold on the Four Horsemen's webpage was meant for customizing. It's meant to go in and do all these little dots and these rivets in his armor. It's something that I hope to get into once I get into more of the Mythic Legion stuff. I'm looking to start customizing some things too. But the detail in the skull is just so cool. You've got great paint apps on there to give it some weathering. And even if the armor doesn't really have a lot of paint, the way they did the skeleton for me really sold the figure, because it's just something about the weathering that's been on this figure. So if you're not familiar with Mythic Legions, they have some pretty good articulation for the most part. It's not your Marvel Legends style of articulation. It's not even Black Series per se. But you do have, mainly in your shoulder, you have elbow, which, you get a nice, fairly 90-degree elbow. You have a little swivel here at the wrist cuff, which gives you some good movement there. And then also the hands rotate, and there's a little hinge. So, and then on the legs, you can go out pretty far on this. These are pretty pliable right there. Then you can kick out pretty far. And then there's a knee bend. And then there's a swivel at the knee. And then you have one of the cool things about Legions that I have found, they've got a great rocker ball ankle. So, and then, oh, forgot the head. Very important. Head. His head is freaking awesome. He has a great ball joint here, and his neck also will turn. And on this one, his jaw opens, which gives him such great, expression. And then the visor will come down, which will give you a really cool look. And then you can have his mouth open, cock it to the side. I mean, it's just wonderful. Wonderful. These here will probably be some of my big army builders in my display as we go forward. Oh, and I forgot the waist is on a ball joint. And I mean, you got some serious back, pretty decent tilt, not much crunch, but good side to side movement. I mean, I feel like you can get some great poses out of this. You can get some great looks when they're holding their weapons. I feel like this is good articulation. It's not over the top. But the reason they make this, a lot of people wonder why they don't add like extra joints here like they do in Marvel Legends, or a butterfly joint. All all Mythic Legions are set up to be, for the most part, customizable. So you can swap parts with other characters. You can, his head pops off with no problem. When it comes off his neck, and his neck will come off as well. See? So, and then the collar piece here can come off, so you can look at it a different way. And they're a lot of fun. The reason I got out of Black Series and Hasbro altogether was I wasn't having fun with those figures anymore. The nostalgia for me had kind of started wearing off. You know, there's only so much you can chase in nostalgia. And it's just refreshing to get a action figure in my hand that's made for an older collector like me. It's not, you know, something mass produced and in a Walmart somewhere, but you know, these are really wonderful, wonderful figures. And I'm very happy with this guy. So let's talk accessories now. So for accessories, this guy comes with a bow, which has got a nice string on it. You can pull it back. And he comes with one arrow that you can use. And I didn't know it, but there's a little notch here, right here, that you can set your bow in, or your arrow in, I'm sorry. And it'll help you when you want to display it with a bow and arrow. It'll go in just kind of like that. And you can have him holding it, and it looks like he's about to shoot it. And I haven't tried this out yet, but I think this will look really cool. The only problem is this is very thin. Be warned that this is possibly easy to break, so just be careful with that piece. All Legion figures usually come with their normal leather belt, so you can put it across his shoulder, put it at his waist, and then there's a nice little loop here to put a sword in and do whatever you need to on that. The next, of course, with this bow, he comes with a thing full of arrows. These arrows are not removable, but you can put that on his back if he's carrying the bow to help make it look more like he's got something going on there. And then he comes with a massive, like, I don't know what this is called, but it's like a massive dagger spear. It's a really cool piece. It's got some detail, but again, these were really meant to be made to paint. So some of the paint details aren't as hardcore on this figure as you'll see on other figures. The other piece he comes with is this really awesome sword with it's blunt end. I don't know. It's awesome though. It's a very scary looking sword, and he will definitely be carrying this a lot in a lot of my dioramas that I eventually make. I'm really cool with that. Also, what comes in the pack are these really awesome, very spiky, menacing pauldrons that in the back he'll have holes that you can stick these in, and I'll get him all set up here in a minute so we can see some of this stuff on him, and I'll get him in a pose. But you get two of those. You can put one on, you can put both on. Now when you put these on, just remember that his arm articulation up at the top and the shoulder, that'll be a little harder to do because those move, but they don't move all the way up, and these spikes will run and they'll get in the way. So he will be a little limited in the shoulder movement. So that's about all I have right now on this skeleton. Bear in mind, I'm still a little rusty on my reviewing process, but I felt like a great way to get back into it. I've got a pretty good long list of figures right now that I can review that I'll be working on. I have a total of 7 Mythic Legions now in my collection, and trust me, I am eyeing quite a few more. If you've not tried this line and you're a collector, I know the prices on these figures are a little scary at first, but I feel like, for me personally, I'd rather pay a little more for a quality figure that I feel like I'm getting a lot of accessories out of, instead of paying the normal prices of some of the other things that are out right now in the market. But I'm not saying for you all to jump right into this, but I really believe if you want to test out this figure here, just like for me, will give you a great opportunity to try this line out. And this figure usually runs on Big Bad Toys for about $44. I know when this initially came out, and this is where you all have to watch when you start hearing that the Four Horsemen are doing a new wave for pre-order, you can get these figures a lot cheaper. I missed this last pre-order, just didn't have the cash flow right yet to do it, but I really like this figure, and I think you guys, if you want to try it, to put your toes in, these builder figures are the way to go. These Legion army builder figures, because that way it gives you a chance to really see what they're all about. So that's going to wind us up for the day on this. Thank you all again for checking out this video, and just remember, enjoy your pastimes. I'll talk to you soon, and hope you all have a good one.